Alright, let's dive into something that's been buzzing in the hockey world lately, the list of former Toronto Maple Leafs players still floating in free agency limbo. But here's the thing, this isn't just about names on a list. It's about careers hanging in the balance, legacies being questioned, and the harsh reality of professional sports. So, let's break this down, not just as a roster update, but as a story about what happens when the spotlight fades. First off, what immediately grabs my attention is Michael Bunting. Here's a guy who, just a few seasons ago, was a 23-goal, 63-point player. Now, he's 30, coming off a rough season, and still unsigned. What's fascinating here isn't just his stats, it's the narrative shift. Bunting was the kind of player who could get under your skin, a classic agitator with skill. But in today's NHL, where teams are prioritizing speed and versatility, does that role still have the same value? Personally, I think it does, but the market seems to be telling a different story. What this really suggests is that the league might be undervaluing players like Bunting, and that's a trend worth watching. Then there's Calle Jarnkrok. His story is a tough one. After a career-high 39 points with the Leafs, injuries derailed him. Now, at 34, he's a shadow of his former self. But here's where it gets interesting. Jarnkrok's defensive prowess is still there. In a league where depth matters, why isn't someone taking a chance on him? My take? Teams are playing it safe. With younger, cheaper options available, Jarnkrok's age and injury history are working against him. But if you ask me, a team looking for a veteran presence on a short-term deal could do a lot worse. Now, let's talk about Ryan Reaves. This guy is chasing 1,000 games, and honestly, it's hard not to root for him. At 38, he's not bringing much on the ice beyond toughness, but his locker room presence is legendary. What many people don't realize is that players like Reaves are the glue that keeps teams together. Sure, his on-ice impact is minimal, but in a sport where chemistry matters, that's no small thing. If he gets one more shot, it'll be because a GM values culture over stats, and that's a decision I'd respect. On the defensive side, John Klingberg's story is a roller coaster. From being written off after his disastrous stint with the Leafs to bouncing back with 10 goals and 27 points last season, he's defied expectations. But here's the kicker, he's not the same player he was in Dallas. Still, in a league starving for offensive defensemen, why isn't he signed? My guess? Teams are wary of his consistency. But if you take a step back and think about it, a team with a strong defensive core could use Klingberg as a wild card. It's a risk, but one that could pay off big. Ben Hutton and Matt Benning are in a different boat. They're not headline grabbers, but they're the kind of depth players every team needs. Hutton's age might be a factor, but Benning's AHL success shows he still has something to offer. What this really highlights is the fine line between being an NHL regular and an AHL standout. It's a brutal reality, but one that's part of the game. Goalies? James Reimer, Matt Murray, and Petr Mrazek, three guys with very different stories. Reimer's late career resurgence was inspiring, but at 38, his time might be up. Murray's injury woes are heartbreaking, he's got the talent, but his body won't cooperate. And Mrazek? His numbers speak for themselves. What's striking here is how quickly things can change in the NHL. One day you're a starter, the next you're fighting for relevance. It's a reminder of how unforgiving this league can be. So, what's the bigger picture here? These aren't just players waiting for contracts, they're careers at a crossroads. Some might head to Europe, others might retire, and a few might get one last shot. But what this list really shows is the transient nature of professional sports. One minute you're a Maple Leaf, the next you're a free agent wondering what's next. It's a story of resilience, uncertainty, and the harsh realities of the game we love. Here's my closing thought. As fans, we often focus on the stars and the highlights, but these players, the ones in limbo, are a crucial part of the NHL's fabric. Their stories matter, not just because of what they've done, but because of what they represent. So, the next time you see a free agent list, remember, behind every name is a career, a family, and a story worth telling. What do you think? Who on this list deserves one more shot? Let me know in the comments.